are coming to you live tonight here from Watertown High School. Here for this production of Watertown TV. My name is Ethan Buss. We're going to extend it down to the starting lineups.
Number 3, McElroy. Starting guard, batting sophomore, number 4, Rashad Fenner. Starting guard, a 5'10" senior, number 5, Jourdan Pope. Starting a 6'2" junior, number 13, Demir Hogan's. And center, a 6'7" sophomore, number 23, Jabari Lee. And coach from Milwaukee, Ryan Lieutenant Sean Harrelson, his assistants, Lamar Fenner, Tyree Riley, and Javon Strickland. And now the starters for Watertown Goslings. Starting guard, a 6-foot sophomore, number 1, Brett Schwabel. And guard, a 6'1" senior, number 20, Caleb Winkleman. And guard, a 6'2" junior, number 21, Brady Shower. And forward, a 6'2" junior, number 22, Hudson Frederick. And at center, a 6'8" senior, number 24, Ethan Johnson. And coach Watertown is Chad Hayes, his assistants, Cole Gutfo, Matt Franz, and Ryan Miller. And the rest of the officials.
All right, so as we get set to go here, once again, my name is Ethan Buss for this Watertown TV production as we take a look again at the starting lineups for the Milwaukee Bradley Tech Trojans here tonight. It is Demarion McElroy starting, number 3. Number 4, Rashad Fenner is starting. Number 5, Jourdan Pope. Number 13, Demir Hogan's, and number 23, Jabari Lee is to start. Meanwhile, for the Watertown Goslings, number 1, Brett Schwafel. Number 20, Caleb Winkleman. Number 21, Brady Shower. Number 22, Hudson Frederick. And number 24, Ethan Johnson will get the start here for the Goslings. Opening tip is won by Watertown, and they will start things off. And the ball taken away almost immediately, and scoring is Rashad Fenner. He's got the first points of the night for the Trojans, and they take an early 2-0 lead. Stole away that opening tip. Driving in is Winkleman, takes a jumper, he got it. All tied up with 17:31 left to play here in the first half. A quick start for both teams. Early buckets. Dribbling around is Rashad Fenner. He's going to lob it in, and tipped in by Demir Hogan's. A 4-2 start here for Milwaukee Bradley Tech, and now a lob up court, and now a lob to the basket, and the shot will go in again for Rashad Fenner. 6-2. Trojans, and a timeout early for Watertown. Wow, quick start here for Bradley Tech, and rightfully so. Look, the big thing about both these teams as we come into this game, by the way, Chris Hayes, first-year head coach for the Goslings, coming in. We got Sean Harrelson, is another year for him as the head coach for the Trojans. Big story here. A lot of turnover between both these teams as far as players go. The well-known 3-star prospect, Lyric Davis, who was just on a roll for this team, averaged 22.1 a year ago. He is off. He went to Tennessee State, so he is no longer with Bradley Tech. Meanwhile, for Watertown, a lot of turnover as well. So both these teams looking to find their identity a little bit here early in the season. Watertown comes in 1-2. Bradley Tech 0-1. Inbounds pass here goes to 21, Brady Shower. Caleb Winkleman trying to bring it up the court, and he gives way to Brett Schwafel. Schwafel turns in the lane and drives. Pass goes over to Brady Shower. Shower looking for help. He's got Ethan Johnson. Underneath they go. Back to Shower. Ball was knocked away momentarily. Schwafel for 3. Off the mark. Rebound by Winkleman. He puts it up and in. Winkleman's got all 4 points for the Goslings early on. It's a 6-4 lead. 16:21 left to go here in the first half. Jourdan Pope with the basketball. Gets it over to Demarion McElroy. And now it is Rashad Fenner nailing a 3. Rashad Fenner has 7 of the 9 Trojan points here to begin this game. They get it inside now to Ethan Johnson. And so far the seniors delivering for the Goslings. It's 9-6 with 15:52 left. Quickly back the other way. And a turnover. Here comes Brett Schwefel for the Goslings. Schwefel turns and drives, and he's blocked by Jabari Lee.
Number 0, Montrevian Roby.
Yeah, we're going to get a substitution here. Montrevian Roby will check in the game for the Trojans. He'll come in for Rashad Fenner, who's off to a red-hot start here. He's got 7 points in the early going. Winkleman turns and drives off the mark. Ethan Johnson the rebound, and he is fouled. We'll see who they call it on.
The net foul is number 3, Marion McElroy. It's first to the team first.
It is to Marion McElroy, who will be called for the foul. That is his first and the team's first. First foul of the night goes to Bradley Tech. All the way across to Caleb Winkleman. Swinging it around to Schwefel, and he's off the mark. Rebound went to McElroy. They lob it inside, and Jourdan Pope will lay it in.
Jourdan Pope.
His first basket of the night for the senior, Jourdan Pope. Brett Schwefel will bring it up here for the Goslings. He turns the corner, looks for help. They try to get it into Ethan Johnson, and he is fouled underneath by Jabari Lee. It's going to be Lee's first,
Number 23, Jabari Lee.
team second. Again, both these teams really just, you got to wonder, you know, the identity. Where's it going to come from for both teams this year? Big question for both. We'll see as the season plays out. Driving in was Hudson Frederick. Now they get it over to Brady Shower. Now Ethan Johnson takes the jumper, and he got it.
Ethan Johnson.
Johnson's got 4 points of the 8 for the Goslings. It is 11-8 in favor of the Trojans. Sean Harrelson barking a play call at his point guard, Montrevian Roby. And now Jourdan Pope directing traffic. They're going to try to set up a screen. Pope over to Roby. Roby will take a 3. He got it. The sophomore guard, he can shoot it, no doubt about it. Roby leads the team in scoring after 1 game. He has 7 points per game. Schwefel all the way across. 3 on the way for Winkleman is off the mark. Rebound went to Demir Hogans, and now Jourdan Pope will drive, and he's fouled by Brett Schwefel as the shot goes in. So an opportunity for an and 1 play here for Jourdan Pope. The foul comes with 14:05 left here in the first half. We got almost a platoon switch for Watertown here. Again, the Goslings, they're a young team, and Coach Hayes talked about it earlier in the season, how they're young and you can see the youth out there, but every game they're growing. Jourdan Pope's shot is good, so he makes it a 3-point play. 5 points for Pope. Jake Hurchin now has checked in the game. We got a 3 on the way. That is off the mark. Ball is on the ground, and we're going to get a tie-up. Possession arrow in favor of Bradley Tech. And Carson Hurchin is limping here, so the platoon switch for the Goslings brings in number 12, Carson Hurchin, number 3, Jake Hurchin, number 4, Reese Camrath, number 5, Kelvin Hurchin, and number 15, Braden Schmidt. They play a lot of guys. Again, I think they're just trying to find their identity. Last year, Nate Kopinski, who was the star of this team, averaged 18.3 a game. He graduated. Ollie Myers averaged 14.6 a game. He graduated. A drive inside from Jabari Lee. He's got it. Foul called. And an opportunity for a 3-point play coming up. Braden Schmidt commits the foul. That's his first, second on the team. And now Jabari Lee will go to the line and try to make it a 3-point play for the Trojans. Off the mark, rebound goes to Jourdan Pope, and now it's stolen away by Calvin Hurchin. Up the court, almost turned over, and he did step on the line, did Karsten Hurchin. We have 3 Hurchins in the lineup for the Goslings, all brothers. Inbound pass here coming, and of course Watertown will play now the full court press. Up the other way, they lob it to Lee. Now he kicks it back out to Pope. 3 on the way is off the mark for Roby, and back into the hands for Watertown of Karsten Hurchin. Corner drive, bouncer inside to Schmidt. He's off the mark, rebound goes to Andre Tanner, who has checked in the game for Bradley Tech. On the court here for the Trojans, we have Jourdan Pope, Montrevion Roby, Jabari Lee, Andre Tanner, and Demarion McElroy. Goslings will work it around. Shot coming off the mark from Jake Hurchin, and the rebound will go to Jabari Lee and back the other way. But Jabari Lee, the sophomore, stands at 6'7". He certainly has a height advantage out there. Again, the Goslings elect to go with an early platoon switch. It's 18-8 with 12:18 left to play in favor of the Trojans here in the first half. Roby looking for help here. He's going to back up. He's going to get a screen from Lee. Now he lobs it into Lee. Touch pass, kicks it back out. Again, trying to work their way in. And wow, good heads-up play that time by Reese Camrath to take the ball away. And back on the other end, Jake Hurchin. Hurchin is the leading scorer for this team. He averages 8.5 a game. They have a lot of guys who are getting playing time, averaging up over 6. 3 on the way is off the mark. Camrath comes down with the rebound. We got a whistle and a timeout. Coach Hayes will call a 30-second timeout here for the Goslings. Ooh, quick pace here in the early going. An 8-point lead for Bradley Tech here at the timeout with 11:39 left to play in the first half. It is 18-10 in favor of the Trojans. Thus far, a very high-paced game here, and the Trojans have 7 points from Rashad Fenner, who has played very well. Jourdan Pope has 5. 2 points from Jabari Lee and 2 points from Demir Hogan make up the 18 thus far for the Trojans. Meanwhile, for the Goslings, getting contributions from their seniors. Ethan Johnson, who has 4, and Caleb Winkleman, who also has 4. 2 points from the sophomore, Jake Hurchin, who is off to a good start. We talked about how they really share the ball around here. Hurchin is the leading scorer, but they have 6 guys who average 6 points or better per game. So they really share the ball and pass it around. Watertown working here again, trying to get it in. Camrath, they quickly work it around the key. Again, just trying to find something in the paint. A 3 on the way here for Karsten Hurchin is off the mark. Whoa, man, rebound went to Jakari Smith, but now it's stolen away by Calvin Hurchin. Another great defensive play for the Goslings. Working it inside here to Elliot Rolthe, and now they kick it back out. And a 3 for Jake Hurchin. He's got 5 for the Goslings, as now the lead is 18-13 and is stolen back for the Goslings. Jake Hurchin steps back, throws it across court. Now Camrath looking for help. Hurchin for 3 again. Off the mark, rebound. A foul is going to be called here underneath on the Goslings. Elliot Wraithley is the guilty party. That is the first for him and the team's third. And it's 18-13 with 10:26 left to play in the first half in favor of the Trojans, as that ball is knocked away and into the hands of Jake Hurchin, and back the other way comes Calvin Hurchin. We're going to say the name Hurchin a lot because there are 3 of them on the Goslings team. 3 on the way for Reese Camrath is off the mark. Oh, rebound by Jake Hurchin, and he is going to step on the baseline, but he might have been forced out. I believe that's what they're going to say, so we're going to get a foul called on Bradley Tech.
So that foul is number 23, Jabari Lee, second, team's third.
Foul goes against Jabari Lee, his second, team's third. Goslings will inbound another platoon switch here for the home team. And the starting lineup re-enters the game. Brady Showers' pass is intercepted. Back the other way come Tech. And again, they're going to put on the brakes here as Montrevion Roby calling out plays, looking for help. He gets it over to Rashad Fenner, who's the leading scorer tonight for the Trojans. Roby dribbling his way in, takes a 3, off the mark. Rebound underneath the basket, though. Goes to Tech. We got a whistle, and a foul will be called. Brett Schwefel called for the foul. That's his second. And the team's 5th. So John Zietlow checks in the game for the Goslings for the first time. A shoot and a 3, whistle, and a travel called on Rashad Fenner, and it's a turnover. I did not see that from up here, but that is a call on the court. Everything has moved very fast-paced here in the early going. An 18-13 lead for the visiting Bradley Tech Trojans. Boy, Schwefel in trouble here, and he's just gonna bounce it off off the opponent rather, Demarion McElroy. It's gonna stay with the Goslings. They're gonna have Cameron Kranz inbound it. Kranz will get it into Schwefel. Schwefel dribbling around. Kranz has it again. Inside they go to Ethan Johnson. That's probably wise, and that ball is deflected from behind. It was a really good play that time by Jakari Smith. I believe he's the one who got a hold of it. And it's a turnover, and back the other way come the Tech Trojans. Jordan Pope dribbling around, steps back, kicks it over to McElroy, now back to Pope, and he walked with it, and a turnover. Brady Shower will check back in for Brett Schwefel. And with 8:50 left to play here in the first half, it is 18-13 in favor of the Trojans. They get it inside to Ethan Johnson, and now off the glass and in for John Zietlow. His first basket of the night. And the 6'3" senior makes his presence known. It is back to 3. It was a 10-point game, now cut to 3 with 8:27 left to play. Jakari Smith gives it over to Jordan Pope, who turns the corner and drives. Tough pass, stolen away. Caleb Winkleman looking to get some separation, and he does. Up court to Cameron Kranz. They get it inside to Ethan Johnson. He's got 6 points, and it's a 1-point game with 8:01 left to play here in the first half. The Goslings have cut this lead, slow but sure. And you can see that the Trojans are trying to slow things down a bit, trying to run their offense as they know it. Jordan Pope turns the corner and drives. All the way around, they work it. 3 on the way for Rashad Fenner is off the mark. Rebound, Ethan Johnson. And now Cameron Kranz will bring it up the court for the Goslings. Over to Caleb Winkleman. Winkleman has Brady Shower, and Shower's ball is knocked away by Jordan Pope. Heads up play by Pope. He bounces it to Fenner, and he's got it. 9 points for Jordan Fenner as the ball runs away. Excuse me, Rashad Fenner, rather. And the ball takes a little skip down the field. Ethan Johnson again, off the mark. Rebound, Jakari Smith. Again, both these teams are fairly young, both searching for somewhat of an identity. And thus far, I mean, Tech has looked like they've dominated, but the Goslings have slowly climbed back into this game. It's a 3-point game with 6:41 left in the first half. Jourdan Pope, he'll dribble it back, looking to set up a play here. Pope over to the Gosling at the center court mark. Now he works his way over to the right side of the court. Pope looking for help. Gets a screen from McElroy. Now turns the corner. Kicks it back over to McElroy. Now back to Pope. And again, Pope looking for a play. He will turn and drive. Ball was deflected. And up and foul called. It was Demir Hogans who went up. And he is fouled on his way up to the hoop. First foul on John Zietlow, team's 5th. And Demir Hogans will miss the first shot from the line. And again, a platoon switch here for the Goslings. You can't blame Chris Hayes for trying to do that. Again, a young team, you're just trying to figure out what works. Second shot here coming for Demir Hogans. Off the mark, rebound will go to Watertown and Calvin Hurchin. All the way up court they go. Oh, Carson Hurchin off the mark. 3 on the way is off, and again, rebound goes to Watertown. Hurchin got it. That is Carson Hurchin, the junior, who makes the basket. The lead is cut to 1, 20-19. With 5:47 left to play in favor of the Trojans. We got a whistle and we got a timeout called. Timeout is going to be called here for Tech. That is Sean Harrelson calling the timeout. Boy, oh boy, fast-paced start here to this ball game. A 1-point game with 5:45 left here in the first half. We talked about the story coming into the game was definitely the turnover for both teams. 7 men graduated for Bradley Tech, including 3-star recruit Lyric Davis, who went to Tennessee State. 6 men for the Goslings graduated, including Nathan Kopinski, who was a huge piece here, along with Ollie Myers. And so a big change for both teams. Jim O'Leary, who was the head coach for the Goslings for a long time, he retired. Chris Hayes comes in, takes over. A lot of change here for both teams, but you're going to see that on display here. Oh, boy. Almost a turnover. McElroy wasn't ready for the basketball there. Tech will slow it down again, trying to set up a play. Double team at the top. Hogans over to McElroy, back to Hogans as he drives and lays it up and in. 4 points for Hogans, as the lead now is 22-19. Jake Hurchin gets it over to Carson Hurchin. Now back over to Jake. He will turn. Working way around Therese Camrath. Now back to Jake Hurchin. Here comes Kelvin. He turns, drives it. Ball is off of Jake Hurchin. It's going to be a turnover. And we'll go back the other way. It'll be Trojan basketball with 4:59 left to play here in the first half. They have themselves a 22-19 lead. Really, from the start, they've gotten off to a really energetic performance here in the first half, have the Trojans, and I think that's been the story for them thus far in this game. Again, trying to break this full court press. They get it to Jabari Lee, and why not, as he misses the shot. He is 6'7", and a foul called underneath. Jake Hurchin is going to be called for the foul for Watertown. That's going to be his first.
The Watertown calls number 3, Jake Hurchin, his first of team 6.
Number 6 on the team. Montrevion Roby will go to the line and shoot, and he makes the first. 4 points now for Roby. Again, 23-19, 4:46 left to play here in the first half. Second shot is up and in. 5 early points for Roby. And again, Watertown will have to break the full court press. And the pass is stolen away by Hogans. Back the other way come the Trojans. 3 on the way is short. Off the mark, rebound goes to Jabari Lee. Roby will slow things down. He's going to listen to his head coach here as he calls out a play. Let's take a moment and let this play out. 4:16 left to play here in the first half. 24-19 in favor of Bradley Tech. Passing it around slowly, just trying to find some offense here. Roby dribbling it around. Gets it over here to Arvel Lockhart. Now a 3 in the corner from McElroy is no good. Rebound goes to Reese Camrath, and here come the Goslings. Back the other way. Inside they go. Now back out. Jake for 3 is off the mark. And the rebound goes to Rotho, and the Goslings get it back. And up and in they go. Elliot Rathey, again, his first basket of the night, cuts the lead to 3. Oh, man, what a move by Jamari Lee. That shot's off the mark, though. And now, looked like a good block from Camrath, but they're going to get him for the foul. That'll be his first. Team 7th.
Watertown fouls number 4, Reese Camrath, his first to team 7.
Demir Hogans will go to the line and shoot 2 here for Bradley Tech. First shot is up and in for Hogans. Got some substitutions here again. Watertown with a platoon switch here. Again, Chris Hayes really trying to see what's going to work here, and that's kind of what you have to do with a young team, and that's why we get the platoon switches. But back to the starting lineup here for the Goslings. Hogans makes both shots at the line. He's got 6. 3:15 left. It is 26-21. In favor of the Trojans, that ball was stolen away by Rashad Fenner, and he drives, and now he traveled, and it's going to be a turnover. Just could not get the look. Sometimes when things happen so quickly, you just can't get the pass off, and that's what happened that time. Caleb Winkleman brings it up for Watertown. Over to Kranz. My goodness. I'll say collision there, and the drive is no good. Rebound goes to Ethan Johnson. Foul called underneath. So good drive by Hudson Frederick. Just couldn't get the basket to go. Now we got a foul on the court. It's going to go against Bradley Tech.
That foul is number 13, Demir Hogans, his first, team's 4th.
Demir Hogans called for the foul, his first, team's 4th. Inbounds they go to Hudson Frederick. The junior's got his first basket of the night, and it's a 3-point lead now for Tech with 2:40 left to play here in the first half. Jordan Pope gets over to Andre Tanner. They're trying to work it around here, trying to find something in the paint. Driving is Rashad Fenner, and he traveled, and it's a turnover. Coach Sean Harlison did not agree with that call, but they do call the travel on Fenner. Fenner is the leading scorer tonight for the Trojans. He's got 9. We got a whistle. Do apologize. Rashad Fenner called for the foul. His first, team's 5th. Wasn't sure what they called there on the court for a moment. Frederick is going to inbound it here, and he gets it into Kranz. And now Cameron Kranz will drive. Caleb Winkleman is wide open for 3. He nails it.
3 for Caleb Winkleman.
He's got 7 points for the Goslings as they tie it up 26-all with 1:57 left here in the first half. And now the ball's knocked away and a foul is called. Who's it going to go against? It's going to go against Tech. Foul is going to be against Joe Gross.
That foul is called on Joe Gross, his first, the team sixth.
His first, team sixth, and the Goslings will get the ball on an inbounds pass. Cameron Kranz brings it across center court. Caleb Winkleman, the senior, turns. Pass over to Frederick. They get it inside to Ethan Johnson. Oh, man. Good-looking shot. Gets his own rebound. Can't get it to go. And back the other way come the Trojans. It's Tamir Hogan's. Ooh, almost stolen away. Jordan Pope turns and drives. And off the mark. Rebound. Cameron Kranz. And now up to Hudson Frederick as he passes it to Ethan Johnson, who gives the Goslings their first lead of the night. Timeout call by Sean Harrelson. The Goslings have battled all the way back, and they have taken the lead, 28-26 with 1:14 left here in the first half. Got to give a lot of credit to the two seniors. Caleb Winkleman with 7, I apologize. Ethan Johnson with 8. Both of them performing extremely well, but again, talk about the platoon switch for Coach Hayes. He's got 5 points from Jake Hurchin, 2 from John Zietlow, 2 from Carson Hurchin, and 2 from Hudson Frederick as well, making up the Goslings 28 here in the first half. Meanwhile, for Tech, 9 points from Rashad Fenner, 6 from Demir Hogans, 5 from Montrevion Roby, 2 from Jabari Lee, make up the 26 for Bradley Tech. Jordan Pope also has 5. Again, full court press here for the Goslings. Ball was almost knocked away. I figure this is going to be a good game tonight, folks. So you got two teams who are searching. Oh, man, we got a whistle and a foul. Jabari Lee is going to go to the line. Foul. We'll see who it's against. Elliot Rathy will be called for the foul. That's his second. Team's 8. Rathy does have 2 points for the Goslings. First shot is off the mark. Remains 28-22. Excuse me, 28-26 with 1:02 left. As Jabari Lee at the line here for Tech.
Goslings number 11, John Zietlow.
John Zietlow will check in for the Goslings. Elliot Rathy will come to the bench for a moment. So again, more platoon switches here for the Goslings. Just trying to find the lineup that works. Second shot goes in for Jabari Lee as he gets the bounce, and now Lee is going to take a seat on the bench. Shakari Smith, the freshman, will check in for him. Inbounds pass goes to Jake Hurchin. Hurchin trying to work it up the court. He gives it over to his brother, Kelvin Hurchin. And now back over to Jake. They work it over to Camrath. Camrath over to Kelvin. Back over to Camrath. Now back to Jake Hurchin. Camrath looking. Finds Hurchin in the corner. His ball was tipped, I believe. And now it's going to bounce off of Tech. Andre Tanner. It went off him. It's going to stay on this end. Kelvin Hurchin is going to inbound, and he gets it into his brother Jake Hurchin. Hurchin turns the corner, now gives it out to Carson Hurchin. And he hits a 3, 31-27 with 27 seconds left in the first half. Ball knocked away by Reese Camrath. Tech will get a chance here to take it out. Demarion McElroy will inbound into Montrevion Roby. 31-27, 21 seconds left here in the first half. A drive to the basket for Jakari Smith. Shot is off the mark. Rebound goes to Hurchin, who lost the basketball. Looking for help. It's out of bounds. And it is going to stay with Bradley Tech here. On Travion Roby. Again with 5 seconds. Tech's gonna have to make a play here. 1 second. And that'll do it. And the buzzer sounds. And at halftime, here in Watertown, the Goslings lead the Trojans at the half 31-27. As we will head to the half here momentarily for the Goslings. It has been a share the well type of performance as expected. 8 points from Ethan Johnson here in the first half and 7 from Caleb Winkleman, the two seniors producing. Karsten Hurchin has 5, as well as Jake Hurchin has 5 as well. John Zietlow with 2, and also 2 from Hudson Frederick make up the 31 Goslings first half points. Meanwhile, on the other side for Milwaukee Tech, it is Rashad Fenner who leads the way with 9 here in the first half. 6 points from Demir Hogans, 5 points from Travion Roby, 5 points from Jourdan Pope, and 3 points from Jabari Lee make up the 27 for the Milwaukee Bradley Tech Trojans here. So a good game. Again, we were talking about the possible identity for both teams, trying to figure out what identity would sort of pop up here. And we're seeing a back and forth battle. Seems as though we have two teams who are, again, just scratching to figure out what's going to work, right? And that's what happens when you get so many people graduating from both sides. All right, we're going to take a break here at half, and we have the mayor, Emily McFarland, here in the crowd tonight with her family. Great to see her out here and supporting the Watertown Goslings. Again, the lead at the half for the Goslings, it is 31-27. We'll be back in a little bit here, and we'll bring you the second half. We are back here live at Watertown High School as we get set for the second half. It has been a fast-paced, back-and-forth first half between these two teams, and Tech did dominate for a while, but the Goslings closed the lead. They took the lead at the half, 31-27, and now they will get the ball here to start the second half. Brett Schwefel will take it up here for the Goslings. Hudson Frederick looking for help, gets it over to Brady Schauer. Bounced the ball right on the line, and it's a turnover. Good crowd here tonight at Watertown High School. We mentioned the Mayor McFarland here. We see a couple of members from the women's basketball team in the crowd as well, Drew Hendricks and Ellie Demet. Good to see everybody getting out and supporting the Goslings here tonight. Jordan Pope turns the corner. He's looking for help. He'll get it inside, off the glass, no good. And rebound, off of Ethan Johnson, but it touched. Wow, they're going to say it did not touch Jabari Lee. And so it is going to stay with the Trojans here. With 17:21 left in the half. A lob inside to Jabari Lee. Jordan Pope over to McElroy. McElroy, ball was picked by Hudson Frederick. What a job by Frederick to knock that ball out. Brett Schwefel will now bring it up the court here for the Goslings. Caleb Winkleman into Ethan Johnson. No, out to Winkleman. They're going to work it in to Ethan Johnson. He will dribble it off the glass. And off the mark. And a foul is going to be called here on Brady Schauer. That'll be his first and the team's first here in the second half. Rashad Fenner will bring it up the court here for the Trojans. Fenner gets a screen, tries to dribble around, working against Caleb Winkleman. Jordan Pope now coming in. Little push to Schauer. Again, they're working it around, and we have a travel called on Jabari Lee. And a turnover. And Watertown's going to have to take it out here at the sideline. Inbound will go to Caleb Winkleman, and now Brett Schwefel will look for help to try to beat the full court press. Over to Winkleman, he will bring it up the court, and a foul is going to be called here on Jordan Pope. That's going to be his first, and the team's first here in the second half. To inbound is Brady Schauer. He finds Brett Schwefel. Schwefel looking in, now he'll move it around, finds Winkleman. Winkleman with a jumper from the elbow. He's got 9, does Caleb Winkleman, 33-27 in favor of the Goslings. Dribbling around and looking for help is Rashad Fenner, who now turns the corner. Ball is going to be off the leg here of Hudson Frederick, and it will remain with Tech. Both these teams played each other a year ago, and Bradley Tech got the victory that night, 56-50. Another close game here tonight, but two completely different teams this year. Jordan Pope lobs it in, and it's going to be a turnover. Caleb Winkleman gives it over to Hudson Frederick, and he will get it in to Ethan Johnson, who finds Brady Schauer streaking to the hoop. Ball is off the mark, though. Rebound, and back the other way comes Fenner. Now a 3 on the way for Jordan Pope, and he nails it. Pope now has 8 points for the Trojans, 33-30 with 15-30 left to play here in the second half. Ethan Johnson lays it up and in. The lead's back to 5 for the Goslings, 35-30. Fenner will bring it up the court here for Tech. Working it around, looking for help. He finds Jordan Pope for 3. It is off the mark. Jordan Pope hit the deck. No foul called. Rebound goes to Hudson Frederick. And back the other way comes Winkleman and the Goslings. Dribbling in is Brett Schwefel as he works his way around. Schwefel now turns in the paint. Over to Brady Shower. Inside they go to Ethan Johnson. He tried to get it back to Shower. Whistle, and it's going to be a ball that's off the leg of Jourdan Pope. And so Watertown will keep possession with 14:47 left to go. Shower inbounds to Frederick. He needs help, and it's stolen away by Jabari Lee. Lee over to Pope. They're going to work it around here again, trying to find something in the paint. Turning and driving is Roby, and his shot is off the mark. Rebound Ethan Johnson, and now it's a turnover, and they're going to say, actually it's going to go off of McElroy, and so the Goslings will keep possession of the basketball. Looked like Ethan Johnson might have just thrown it away from my view, but the ball was tipped. I did not see that. Hudson Frederick drives. Shot is off the mark. He has Shower for three. He nails it. Well, the first basket of the night for the junior Brady Shower is a big one. Puts the Goslings up 8 with 14:05 left here in the second half. 38-30. Again, the Trojans trying to work things around, trying to find their way inside. Jourdan Pope, did he pick up the ball? No, he did not. We're actually going to get a foul called against Watertown. The foul will go against Brady Shower. That's his second, team's second. And again, it's going to be a platoon switch for the Goslings. Oh man, that ball is knocked away. Kelvin Hurchin gets it into Reese Camrath. Up the court they go to Karsten Hurchin. Now all the way over to Jake Hurchin. Camrath over to Wrathy. Now back over to Kirchin. They're just working their way around quickly. Oh, now, and the ball hits the deck. Kelvin Hurchin lost it. And a turnover as Jourdan Pope will lob it up, and scoring is Demir Hogans. He's got 8 for the Trojans. The lead is cut to 6. We got a whistle. And a foul called.
And that foul is number 13, Demir Hogans, his second, the team's second. And for the Trojans, number 12, Lockhart.
So the foul will be on Demir Hogans. That's his second, the team's second. Jabari Lee is going to take a seat for the Trojans, and coming in is number 12, Arvel Lockhart. Shot is no good, and a rebound, and back the other way come the Trojans. Turning and driving is Roby to the hoop. Oh, good move, but he couldn't get it to fall. Cross court they go to Kelvin Hurchin. Now they get it up to Jake Hurchin. Oh, the layup off the mark. And now again, a lot of lobs in this game as Roby lays it in. 7 points for Martavion Roby. It's a 4-point Goslings lead, and Wrathy lays it in. 4 points for Elliot Wrathy, and it's 40-34. 6-point lead for the Goslings at 12:31 left to play, and it is Tamarian McElroy on the other end scoring quickly. And we got a whistle, and a foul is going to be called against Arvel Lockhart here. That'll be his first, team second, I believe.
That foul is number 12, Arvel Lockhart. That's first the team's third. The Trojans, number 1, Zachary Smith. Number 4, Rashawn Penner. 23, Jabari Lee.
Excuse me, that is his first and the team's third. Again, the Goslings trying to work it around here. Camrath over to Jake Hurchin. Back over to Camrath. Now they work it around to Karsten Hurchin, and it's turned over into the hands here of Demarion McElroy, who drives. Shot is off the mark and rebounded up and in for Jabari Lee. Lee's got 5. It's a 2-point game all of a sudden. Things are going awry for the Goslings. Zachary Smith inside, stolen away by Karsten Hartgen, and back the other way come the Goslings. 40-38 with 11:45 left to play. Inside they go, working it around. Kamrath bounces it over to Karsten Hartgen. They get it inside to Wraithley, and he gets it to go. Wraithley has 6 points for the Goslings, 42-38. Oh, that ball is knocked off of Kamrath, and it will stay on this end. Man, oh man, it is nice to get a breath there for a second. Wow, what action here in the second half. A 42-38 Gosling lead. Crazy half for both teams. The first half was fairly fast-paced as well, so not a surprise there. Oh my goodness, the lob into Jabari Lee, who lays it in. He's got 7, and the lead is back to 2 for the Goslings. Karsten Hartgen over to Reese Kamrath, back to Karsten Hartgen, and he lays it in. Karsten's got 7, and it's 44-40. Goslings with a 4-point lead. They lob it up court to Roby, now inside to Jabari Lee, off the glass and in. Jabari Lee. The size of Jabari Lee is becoming a problem for the Goslings. He's 6'7". He's got 9 points. And now the ball is going to go out of bounds. And a platoon switch for the Goslings. So the Goslings will return their starters to the court. Inside, looking for Ethan Johnson. The ball is deflected away by Rashad Fenner as he will drive the other way. Now Pope for 3, and he nails it. Timeout, Coach Hayes, and the Bradley Tech Trojans have just taken the lead after the 3 by Montrevion Roby. He has 10 points. And boy, has he been shooting well. He had 7 in the first matchup they had against Muskego. And now he has 10 tonight against Watertown. Wow. And a big 3 again puts the Trojans up 45-44 with 10:33 left to play in the second half. Unbelievable. Well, again, you talk about the fast-paced motion here, and it's been Jabari Lee who's made a big impact. He's up to 9 points now for the Trojans, and the Goslings just have not had an answer for him defensively. And Lee stands at 6'7". It has been a high-paced, physical matchup, and of course, with the lead back to Tech now, the Goslings will be playing from behind. Good time for a timeout. Tech worked their way all the way back in this one and took the lead, and now Watertown will get the ball coming out of the timeout. Schwefel will inbound over to Hudson Frederick. Brady Schauer over to Caleb Winkleman. Winkleman over to Schwefel as they get it across center court. Schwefel turns the corner, drives, bounce pass, Schauer. Trying to get it to Winkleman, and it's knocked away. Back the other way, come to Tech Trojans, and laying it up and in is Arvel Lockhart. It's his first bucket of the night, and the lead is now 3, 47-44 in favor of the Trojans. Up to Schwefel, he throws it up and no good. Ethan Johnson, the rebound. The shot goes, and he's fouled. 12 points for the 6'8" senior, and he's gonna go on the line to try to make this a 3-point play. Jakari Smith is called for the foul. That's his first. Team's fourth. We haven't had a lot of fouls here in the second half thus far, but that was a big one there. Chance to tie it. And he does. 13 points for Ethan Johnson, ties this game with 9:44 left in regulation. Montrevion Roby will bring it up the court here for the Trojans. Again, Coach Harrelson calling out a play. Roby, hot pass over to Lockhart. Lockhart over to McElroy. McElroy over to Jabari Lee, who has really taken over this game in that run that Tech went on. Lee again turns the corner, drives to the basket. It's an easy shot, he missed it. Off the mark, rebound goes to Ethan Johnson. Well, easy for me to say that's an easy shot, sitting up here, but nonetheless. Off the mark it goes. Tie game, deflected in the air, back to the Trojans, and they have numbers, and Roby will lay it in. 12 points from Artavion Roby. It's a 2-point Trojans lead. And now the ball is stolen away again, but Winkleman gets it back. Brett Schwefel to the hoop and off the mark. And Ethan Johnson, no basket called. We're going to say the foul was on the floor. No basket. Demarion McElroy called for the foul, his second, team's fifth. Ethan Johnson on the inbound, can't get it to go, bounces off the out-of-bounds line, off of Jabari Lee, and it will stay with the Goslings, down 2, 8:35 left to play. Over to Schwefel for three. He's off the mark, rebound will go to Demir Hoggins, excuse me. And now Tech will bring it back up. They will slow it down. They have a 2-point lead with 8:24 left to play here in regulation. Roby looking for some help. Gets a little bit of a screen. That's stolen away by Hudson Frederick. Frederick brings it up the court here for the Goslings. Brett Schwefel now over to Caleb Winkleman. Winkleman back over to Schwefel. Schwefel turns and drives. Shot is off the mark. Gets his own rebound. Can't get it to go. Looking for help. Ball's on the ground, and it ends up in the hands of Montrevion Roby, and Tech is going to slow it down. 7:48, they have the lead by 2. And again, they will wait for this play to move, and that's what happens. Again, trying to lob it in, and the shot, wow, is good. Demir Hoggins with an impressive-looking shot. It is now 51-47, a 4-point game, and a foul is called on Montrevion Roby as he tried to reach in. His first, team sixth, and now Watertown will keep possession. Hudson Frederick will inbound it to Brett Schwefel. Schwefel up the court, bounces it over to Winkleman. Winkleman looking for help. Ball is off of Roby. It's going to stay with the Goslings. 51-47 with 7:18 left. Cameron Kranz will go over and he will throw it in for the Goslings as they move around. They get it all the way up to Brett Schwefel near the Gosling logo at midcourt. Schwefel looking for some help. Winkleman will move. Schwefel dribbling around. He's got Winkleman. Winkleman puts on the brakes, now drives at the elbow. Shot is off the mark. Rebound goes to Hoggins. And Tech is going to slow it down. 51-47 in favor of the Trojans with 6:53 left here in regulation. Looks like the Goslings are setting up for a platoon switch here momentarily at the next dead ball. Again, trying to set the screen is Hoggins. Roby working against Winkleman here at the top. Roby turns the corner and drives. Almost lost the ball for a moment. Now he has to regather himself. Back out near the half-court line. 51-47. Roby working against Hudson Frederick. He turns the corner and drives in. Finds Jabari Lee, and the shot is blocked by Ethan Johnson. And it will stay on this end off of Hudson Frederick. What a play by Ethan Johnson. Came in with a big block. And an announcer's worst nightmare, a platoon switch for the Goslings here. All three of the Hurtgen brothers come back in, and of course, that shot is off the mark. Wraithley is back in the game as well as Camrath. Off the mark again, and a foul called back the other way. Let's see who the foul is on here.
That foul is number 23, Jabari Lee. His third, team 7.
So Jabari Lee has 3 fouls. His third, team 7th. And they're going to be over the limit. So that means Jake Hurtgen will go to the line and shoot 3. So Jake Hurtgen, Karsten Hurtgen, and Kelvin Hurtgen all back in the game for the Goslings, along with Elliot Wraithley. The first shot of the 1-and-1 is off the mark, and the rebound will go back to Tech. Oh, and what a play by Elliot Wraithley. It's off of Tech, and it's going to stay with the Goslings. Reese Camrath also on the court for Watertown. The inbounds pass comes from Kelvin Hurtgen. And now Karsten is going to travel as he thought about taking it in. Whistle blows and a turnover, and Tech will get the basketball back here. Demarion McElroy will inbound. Uh-oh, the pass is almost thrown away. Again, looking for help is McElroy. We got a whistle, we got a timeout. And Coach Harlison is not happy with that one. They could not get the ball up the court, and they have to call a timeout. And so with 5:44 left, it is 51-47. We have been in a standstill here for a few minutes with that score. What a game we have here on hand. Martavion Roby, he has 12 points for Bradley Tech. 9 points from Rashad Fenner. All of those came in the first half. 10 points from Demir Hodges. 9 from Jabari Lee, 8 from Jordan Pope, 2 from Arvell Lockett, and 2 from Demarion McElroy. Make up the 51 for the Trojans. Meanwhile, for the Goslings, they have 13 points from their 6'8" senior, Ethan Johnson. 2 points from Hudson Frederick. 9 from Caleb Winkleman. 2 from John Zietlow, 3 from Brady Shower, 6 from Elliot Wraithley, 7 from Karsten Hurtgen, and 5 from Jake Hurtgen. Whew, I said they like to share the ball, right? And they do, very often. They're going to stick with their second platoon here. It's going to be Jake Hurtgen, Kelvin Hurtgen, Karsten Hurtgen, Elliot Wraithley, and Reese Camrath on the court for the Goslings. Pope will bring it up the court here for Tech. Looking for help. Good defense by the Goslings, and Jake Hurtgen forces a turnover. And here come the Goslings down 4 with 5:27 left. Hurtgen over to his brother now, over to Jake. Jake Hurtgen drives, lost the basketball for a moment. 3 on the way is good. Kelvin Hurtgen brings the lead back to 1. Jabari Lee is going to be fouled. I think that's a good call. They're going to call him for a block.
The Watertown foul is number 13, Elliot Wraithley, his third, team's third.
Foul is going to go against Elliot Wraithley, his third, team's third here in the half. It's a 1-point lead for the Trojans with 5:06 left to play. And it's a turnover. It'll be back to the Goslings. Montravion Roby tried to make a move, and he tripped and lost the basketball. And so Watertown will get it back with 5:01 left, down by 1. Kelvin Hurtgen will inbound it to his brother Jake. Back over to Kelvin. Now they get it to Camrath. Camerath, up in the air, ends up back in the hands of Calvin Hurchin. Calvin finds his brother Karsten. Karsten over to Jake. Hurchin drives, Jake Hurchin, he gets it to go. He's got 7, and the Goslings have the lead back with 4:35 left, and it's stolen away by Calvin Hurchin. And just like that, the Goslings have gotten this crowd back in it. They're up 1 with 4:24 left to play. A 3 on the way. Is off the mark. Ringed in and out for Calvin Hurchin. And now look at Calvin on defense. And the ball ends up with Jake Hurchin. It is going to be a foul called. They're going to get Jake. That's going to be his second. And the team's fourth. Great effort from Jake Hurchin and Calvin Hurchin. They have fought hard here in this game. Driving to the basket, nobody there, and laying it in is Rashad Fenner. He's got his first basket here in the second half. And an over and back. Camrath threw it over. It's a turnover. Tech is up by 1 with 4 minutes left. 53-50 in favor of the Trojans. McElroy will inbound here for the Trojans. They lob it up to Hogans, and he dribbled it on the baseline, and it's a turnover. Back to the Goslings. Oh man, the little mistakes for both teams here in the second half have been the story, but man, this game is still a 1-point lead with 3:58 left. Plenty of time. You know, they say 3:58 in a basketball game can last forever. Miscommunication up the other way. Fenner will be fouled, and the shot is no good. Foul will go against number 3, Jake Hurchin. That's his third, team's 5th. It's a non-shooting foul. So Jordan Pope will inbound it here for Tech. Turning and driving is Roby. Over to Hogans. Now over to Fenner. Fenner turns, passes it away. Pope drives, and he's fouled on his way in. They're not going to count the basket. It's going to be a foul on the floor. Karsten Hurchin with his first foul, team 6th here in the second half. Inbounds pass, and the basket is good for McElroy. And he gives the Trojans the lead back, 55-52. Karsten Hurchin all the way across to Calvin Hurchin. A foul is going to be called against Martravion Roby. Roby's going to argue that he was playing the basketball. And even if he was, you can't make that mistake when you're in foul trouble, and that is what they are. So shooting a 1-and-1 now will be Calvin Hurchin, and he makes the first. Calvin has 4 for the Goslings, and he makes both. A 1-point game again with 3:21 left to play. It is 55-54 in favor of the Trojans, and driving, it's an offensive foul called against Rashad Fenner. Coach Harrelson does not agree. Hey, sometimes when it's a bang-bang play like that and you're on the road, that's a call you're probably not going to get. And it goes in favor of the Goslings. Camrath turns and drives to Wrathy. Shot is off the mark. Rebound will go to Hogans. Goslings still playing tough here, down 1, 2:58 left in regulation. Jordan Pope turns the corner. He's fouled by Reese Camrath. Basket is no good. Camrath will pick up his second foul. That is the team's 7th. And so Jordan Pope is going to go to the line.
is set for the team's 7th. For the Goslings, number 1, Brett Schwefel. Shooting the 1-1 for 10, Jourdan Cole.
Brett Schwefel will check in here for Reese Camrath. Still a 1-point game. First shot is in for Pope. He's got 9 points for the Trojans as their lead is to 2 now. And he misses the second shot. 56-54 with 2:49, left to play in regulation. Jake Hurchin across to Kelvin Hurchin. And now over to Karsten Hurchin as they work it around to Schwefel. Schwefel turns the corner looking for help. We got a timeout called by Chris Hayes. Probably a wise timeout here. They want to get a play right. Down 2:36 left. It's going to be a full timeout. Wow, what a half. Back and forth they go here down the stretch. 13 points for Ethan Johnson for the Goslings in this one. 12 for Montrevion Roby. He leads the way now for the Trojans. Boy, it has been a back and forth matchup here tonight, as expected. Again, we've talked about it many times, but you got two teams searching for somewhat of an identity. Both teams losing some big-time players, and for Watertown's sake, they lost their coach of many, many years, Jim O'Leary, who retired. And so Chris Hayes, his first year as the head coach, brings his 1-2 Goslings back home looking to get a win against the Bradley Tech Trojans. Last year, this was a close game as well. It was 56-50, which Bradley Tech won. Obviously, the Goslings hoping to rewrite that loss from last year, but we'll see if they can do it here. It'll be Kelvin Hurchin, Brett Schwefel, Jake Hurchin, Karsten Hurchin, and Elliot Rathy for the Goslings. Schwefel dribbling around, looking for help here. He's in trouble, bounces it. Oh, it's going to be off first of Demarion McElroy, and it will stay with the Goslings. Calvin Hurchin will inbound it here to Brett Schwefel. 56-54, 2:22 left to play. Jake Hurchin over to Karsten Hurchin, and now Calvin Hurchin has it. Calvin needs help. He gets it to his brother Karsten. Now back over to Calvin. Inside they go to Jake Hurchin. He rings it. Oh my goodness. Off the mark. Hurchin got his rebound. We got a foul called underneath the hoop. Wow. What effort by Jake Hurchin. He was not going to want to miss that shot. Foul will go against Martavion Roby. That is his fourth, team's 10th. And the shot rings out. I'm not sure what they called there. Both shot off the mark, rebound though goes to Rathy, and the Goslings will get it back. Karsten for three, that's off the mark, rebound into the hands of Hogans, and we got a tie up. And they're actually gonna call foul, I believe, here on Elliot Rathy. His fourth, team's 8th. And because the Goslings are over the limit, Tamir Hogans will go to the line and shoot 1-1. 56-54 with 1:56 left to play. Hogans makes the first shot.
For the Goslings, 24, Ethan Johnson.
Ethan Johnson will come in for Elliot Wraithley, who is in foul trouble here. Ethan Johnson started this game, though, and he has 13 points for the Goslings, and he leads the way. Second basket of a 1-and-1 for Hogans is off the mark. Rebound will go to Kelvin Hurchin. Schwefel back over to Kelvin. Now back over to Schwefel. Schwefel looking. He gets it into Ethan Johnson. Now Jake Hurchin for three, and oh, it's off the mark. This crowd would have erupted. Ethan Johnson, look for the foul, but he gets the shot to go. 15 points for Ethan Johnson. It's a 1-point game. 1:30 left to play here in regulation. Here comes Fenner driving the lane. The shot is good. Wow. Big time shot. By Rashad Fenner. Bradley Tech is going to call a full timeout here. It's a 3-point game now after the basket by Fenner. Wow, what a game. And again, you know, regardless of the outcome, you know that Coach Hayes will be happy with the effort from his guys here tonight. He mentioned it a couple weeks ago that this team is young, and they are going to show that youth from time to time, but man, they are fighting tonight. And again, we talk about the identity for both teams being a question. And I don't know if there's any question that both these teams are going to be fighting it out all season long with every opponent they face. But when we look at the board here, Rashad Fenner now has 13 points. 9 of those points came in the first half. 12 points from Montravion Roby. 11 for Demir Hogans. 9 for Jabari Lee. 9 for Jourdan Pope. It's been a good sharing of the wealth here for the Trojans in this game. Now the Goslings have 15 from Ethan Johnson, 9 from Caleb Winkleman, 7 from Karsten Hurchin, and 7 from Jake Hurchin, along with 5 from Calvin Hurchin. 1:15 left to play. Goslings down 3. Schwefel brings it back the other way. He is in trouble. Gets it over to Ethan Johnson. Ball is swatted away. Back the other way in favor of the Trojans. Jourdan Pope will get it up the court. 57 seconds, 3-point game. Rashad Fenton turns the corner and drives, and is he fouled? Yes, he is. Foul is going to go against Calvin Hurchin. His 4th, the team's 9th. And the shot is off the mark. It's a 1-and-1. Oh man, Schwefel lost the basketball. And it'll go back to the Trojans with 46.5 seconds left here. Just a low pass, and Schwefel couldn't hang on to it. The lob over to Fenner. Fenner turns the corner, looking to drive. Schwefel puts on the brakes. Rashad Fenner has played very well in that matchup. Now he's got a whistle, and a foul will be called against Schwefel. That was an obvious grab. Third, team's 10th. And Rashad Fenner will go to the line. And he nails the first shot. That very well could be the nail in the coffin here for the Goslings, but we'll see. And that most certainly will, as Fenner makes both. Goslings will need a quick shot here. 61-56. Ethan Johnson needs help. It's going to be off of the Trojans. It will stay with the Goslings. So Rashad Fenner now has 15 points for the Trojans. Inbounds goes to Jake Kirchen. They're going to need a three quickly. Shot is off the mark. Rebound. Again, they're looking for three. The ball is stolen away. Up the court to Jourdan Pope. It's good. Jourdan Pope has 11 for the for the Trojans. Jake Kirchen drove. His shot is off the mark, and a foul on Calvin Hirchen. That'll be his second. Team's 11th. And I actually believe I said he had 3 fouls before. I apologize. He does not. Jourdan Pope is going to go to the line as the crowd starts to exit here in Watertown. Pope misses the first. Again, you just look at the overall energy tonight, and it just feels like Tech just brought a little more energy in this one. And Schwefel lost it. Pope will make the basket and seal it. And he finishes with 13 points here in this one. So the final score here in Watertown, the Milwaukee Bradley Tech Trojans 65, the Watertown Goslings 56. A close matchup for sure. Both teams fought to the very end. But at the end of the day, it was just too much for Tech. They just dominated tonight. Rashad Fenner has 15 points. He finishes as the leading scorer. 13 points for Jourdan Pope. 12 for Montrevion Roby. 4 points from Demarion McElroy. 2 points from Arvo Lockhart. 11 from Demir Hogans. And 9 from Jabari Lee make up the 65 for the Trojans. Meanwhile, for the Goslings, it is a 15-point night from their senior, Ethan Johnson. 9 points for Caleb Winkleman. 6 for Elliot Wraithley. 7 for Carson Hirchen. 5 for Calvin Hirchen. 7 for Jake Hirchen. 2 for John Zietlow. 3 for Brady Schauer. And 2 for Hudson Frederick make up the 56 for the Goslings. Watertown is going to drop to 1-3 on the year. Their next game will be on next Tuesday, as they will head to Waukesha North at 7 o'clock. That will be the start time in that game. Meanwhile, for Bradley Tech, they will be headed home and playing Milwaukee Riverside. That will be again next Tuesday as well, December 6th. Again, final score here tonight from Watertown. It is the Trojans 65 and the Goslings 56. We will be back here fairly shortly. And for this Watertown TV production, my name is Ethan Buss. Have a good night, everybody.